Hello, everybody. It's me, David Lanier, actor from Chicago, and your host for Storyteller's Role. Thank you, everyone, for the backdrop. Uh, I think that, let me see. The war! Oh, my Lord. Oh, goody. One of my own Death Stars. How beautiful. I plan to blow up the Earth. It obstructs my view of Venus. It's a Murgatroyd. If you don't know who Marvin the Martian is, I can't help you. If you don't know that that's the Death Star, we're gonna have problems. The Death Star is probably very memorable because of not only the fact that it got blown up and everything, and it had that little kind of weird design flaw, which is weird that it had that design flaw. Star Wars historians can tell you why it had this design flaw, and I could tell you why it had that design flaw because I happen to know nerds like that, but I don't recall the facts, so I'm not going to tell you why it had the design flaw because I don't recall the exact parameters as to why. Something to do with the designer and something like that. I don't know. In any event, it doesn't matter. What matters is I get my own. Sorry, I'm waxing nostalgic. The point is that this is where we start with our stories. And our last um it was a year ago, wasn't it? Wow, it's been a year already. Sorry. In our last series or episode, part one, I explained the heartbeat of a story, the dystolic and systolic comedy and tragedy um, beats between which, or systolic and dystolic blood pressure, between which the heartbeat of our story rests. Comedy and tragedy, hope and fear cycles. And somewhere in between those hope and fear cycles, if we do our job correctly as actors, storytellers, uh, game masters, narrators, you name it, we will have grabbed hold of the emotional uh, feelings of the audience, and we will be able to manipulate them for a short period of time appropriately towards engagement in the story, and hopefully have the entire audience have a cathartic effect. The science behind it is something I'm going to help cover because a lot of tabletop role-playing games don't cover the mechanics and the art and science of storytelling. They hint at it. They claim these are tabletop role-playing games, but they don't really teach you how. I'm not teaching you how to act. No. I'm not teaching you improv. No. I'm teaching you the structure of a story so that you could take that story and you can make it your own. Much better. So let's look at the first part, the 7 point plot structure. We're going to divide our story, our lines, our two lines of hope and fear cycles, systolic and dystolic blood pressure, comedy and tragedy, whatever you want to call those two lines. We're going to divide that into 7 points. Just a moment. We got the hook. We got plot point one. We got pinch one. We got the midpoint. We got plot point two, pinch two, and resolution. Right? Oh, c'era, Tony. I'm recording. I get to you in a second, sweeties. Good girl. Ash, go lie down. See? So, in order for us to really write a good story, one of the best ways to do that is for us to simply start at the end and think about it for a moment. Because the most important aspect for us in outlining our story, if you really want to know about it, is how does it end? Knowing how our story ends tells us how it should begin. Ah, that's very clear. That's kind of strange, isn't it? Our story should begin with an end? What? Hollywood's full of dyslexics. Let me tell you how it works. We flip the mirror, right? We know the Death Star blows up. Boom! So we know what we want the audience to feel at the beginning is anticipation that this thing can't be blown up. We want to, oh, we really want to mess with their emotional roller coaster of will it get blown up? Can they blow it up? Will they succeed? Will they not succeed? Is it gonna be who's gonna win against the big bad evil guy? Darth Vader does the round. He kills people. He destroyed Alderaan with the whole planet. Oh my God, Princess Leia, she was so sweet and kind. Oh, such a nice little girl, and he just destroyed her whole planet. He killed all those innocent people. Boo! We want Darth Vader dead. We want him bad. We want somebody to kick his booty hole. And we want him to take his toys away. And we want him to take the Death Star. We want him to blow it up in little pieces. And then we want to send Darth Vader on his way. We want all the stormtroopers to go away. And we want everybody to be nice and kind and play kind with everybody. And please bring in some teddy bear Ewoks because I like the Ewoks. Yeah. Maybe that's the story you like. Me, I kind of was rooting for Darth Vader to fucking win. I really did. You guys don't know me, homie. Nothing screams fascist like a stormtrooper uniform. See? Darth Vader right there. That's your doorstep. And ooh, the Force. And yay, go team. You know, and I've always been opposed. I've always been a rebel, actually, since 1967. And I've been feeling it since 1985. But today I'm just a rebel for kicks, you know. By the way, don't ever give me a parking ticket. All right? Are we good? Okay. Now, stories need to make sense. We can mix the streams in the same genre because they make sense. It makes sense to have Doctor Who show up somewhere, right, in a Star Trek episode. we could cross those streams without too much complication. We wouldn't have to explain a lot to our audience. We wouldn't create in our audience what we call cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is when you're doing something or you're watching something and then something doesn't jive with it, and it jives with your sense of continuity of subject, or reality check or whatever, and you go, I call bullshit. No, seriously, I call bullshit. 100% I call bullshit. And then if you call bullshit, then the rest of it, the willful suspension of disbelief, is lost. So it's important when designing a story or a tabletop adventure to know the resolution, to know the setting, to know where it is, to know where it's going to be, so that you don't introduce elements that aren't part of that scenario. And then knowing how it should start, right? It starts at the opposite end of the spectrum emotionally, right? Gives you the seesaw of emotional framework from which you want to keep the audience contained, right? Because you want to keep their psychobabble going, woo, wah, woo, wah, woo, wah, woo, woo. Or maybe you want to go, ah, woo, ah, woo, ah, oh, ah, oh, let's donate money. People shouldn't do that to the environment. That kind of thing. However, you want the audience to end, the cathartic release you want them to have, the control you wish to have over them, all depends upon keeping hold of their willful suspension of disbelief. You have 2 hours, maybe three at most, within which to do that. After that time period of 3 hours, you lose their willfully suspended disbelief. The audience goes home. They're done. 4 hours, you lost your audience completely. Having to take a break, intermission, that kind of thing, you lose your audience completely. 3 hours is the max any game, tabletop role playing game, in person or otherwise, should be run. So we start with the resolution. Where do we want things to end? You say you want a resolution. Well, we all want to blow up the Death Star. Dun, 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 dun. Ba, 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 da, da, da. To make the story climatic, to make it interesting and exciting, what we need to do is we need to make sure that our heroes, that is the entire party of heroes, not just the one hero, Luke Skywalker, but the entire period of heroes, right? Princess Leia, R2D2, C3PO, Han Solo, Chewbacca, Luke Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi. 7 people. Sound like a D&D game night yet? 7 characters. Sound like a D&D game night yet? 7! 7 players! Yay! A DM's worst nightmare come true. I got actual 7 people who want to play. Damn. I better create something good for them. Thankfully, I'm here to help you. We're going to turn Star Wars into a D&D adventure. We're not going to use blasters, lightsabers, and whatever. We're not going to cross those streams. Ooh, we're going to dumb it down a little bit. We're going to use swords and sorcery. We're not going to use psionics, I guess. Sorry, I hate psionics, and if you like them, that's your business, and you can put them back in if you want to, but I'm not putting them in this one. No! Bad habits. Bad habits. Our first beat that we're going to go and look at in great detail, we will call a procedural beat. Procedural spelled with a C. We're going to pretend I can spell and draw. Dum, bum, 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 bum. We're going to pretend I can draw. We're going to call it a procedural beat. Procedural beat will be represented by a gear, looking like a gear. Why? Because it's a procedural beat, and a procedural beat means it is something that must take place, something that must happen, it must succeed, it must be accomplished in order for the story to move forward. Success means that the protagonist moves forward to the goal and the audience has a feeling of hope and anticipation. They have gratification, possibly, because it was very, very dramatic and climatic for them to get to the point. Does Luke Skywalker get past the bolo that's out for him and the droids? Right? Can an old man, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and two, computer councils, one of which argues with the other one, and a farm boy get past the big bad police department that has a bolo out for their arrest? Well, leave it to Ben Kenobi to go, these aren't the droids you're looking for. Uh, these aren't the droids we're looking for. We're free to go about our business. You're free to go about your business. Move along. That's a procedural beat. Had to happen. Procedural beat in a dramatic context, which is the second beat we're going to look at, a dramatic beat. So this is great. We have Corleone Jr. telling his brother Fredo, I know it was you. This foreshadows, right? So we could argue that this is actually a commentary scene, but we have a dramatic scene because we have the two brothers. They're at a party, right? Fredo doesn't know that his brother knows that he betrayed the family and betrayed him, right? And here comes the new kingpin, the new godfather, right? Who says, it was you, Fredo. I know it was you. My fucking heart. And then Fredo dies. And if you haven't seen The Godfather, you should go see it. Oh, you should go see it. Read the book and then go see it. Read the book, then go see it. Or go see it and then read the book. Either way, it's amazing. Parts one and two. They come on TV for free every year. Just watch it. So those are procedural beats and a dramatic beat. And we're going to remember this acronym to remember the procedural beat. Procedural beat will be considered procedural slash players. Layers. And the reason we're going to remember players is because procedural beats are external to the players. They are external to the heroes. They are external to the main hero. That's the cool part about procedural beats. They can involve threats of violence. They can involve actual violence. They can involve coercion. They can involve, all sorts of things. Usually, there are some needed resource or some needed element for the person to get to the next level in order to defeat the whatever. I can't get to the rock concert if I don't have gas in the car, and we don't have gas money because we're teenagers and we're broke and we don't have jobs and nobody wants to give us a job, and our mother left us alone. Shh, don't tell mom the babysitter's dead. Um, you know, but the dishes are done, man. See, that's ingenuity right there, personally. in my humble opinion. Doing dishes that way, that's true. Like if I had kids like that, I'd be like, you know what? I'm going to give you a promotion. Anyway, I'm spoiling some movies for you, which I hope you'll go see. Don't tell mom the babysitter's dead. Go watch a few Doctor Who episodes. Go watch a few old original Star Trek episodes. Uh, you know, with Chekhov and Sulu there. Or, you know, uh, watch these videos. Either way, you got some homework to do. Read a few books, and we'll see you in episode 3 when I explain a dramatic beat. In the meantime, we're going to remember procedural beat, players, dramatic beat, do, commentary, count. Players do count. Okay. Thank you very much for your time and your patience. I appreciate all of you and have a beautiful and blessed holiday season.